Hi guys, Tevin from Team Stomping Grounds, sitting here with Trevor Rowe. He's going to be playing tonight against TJ Myers, who's playing Tau with Fire Sport Cadre, because he's a jerk. Yeah, well, and you're playing...
I'm playing Demons with Tau.
Let's talk about that.
Alright. So I'm running a heavy Screamer-based list with Bellacore.
But not Screamer Star.
Correct, it's just Screamers doing their thing. And after, a little theory crafting, I might have played one game without them, something like that. Tanks are a problem. If I get to them, that's great, but then whatever they were carrying pops out. And eventually I just went, you know what? I can take, Come the Apocalypse allies now. Let's take a bunch of Melta-Guns on some suits. I get to ignore the Come the Apocalypse rules where I can't deploy within 12 because they all deep strike, so seemed like a good answer.
Yeah, we've had a couple battle reports now with the Come Apocalypse allies, and the change in 7th edition to Come the Apocalypse really just opens the meta up so much. And so we like to see that we like to have lists taking advantage of that, which is what Trevor's doing.
Sure am.
Now, you're obviously going to try to nom his tanks and blow up his tanks, get the invisibility, get the charge up.
Yep.
What are you most afraid of in his list?
SMS in general. It doesn't matter what it's on. The Devilfish, the Sky Rays, the Riptides, the Broadsides. I'm running a list that relies heavily on abusing Jink. Between Jink and Shrouding off Bellacore, I get the 17 Screamers all with a 2-up cover save that rerolls because they're Zinch. Bellacore has his 2-up. I have a Nurgle Demon Prince that has a 2-up while he's in terrain because of the Shrouding with Ruins. Basically, the whole army is based around a 2-up cover, and his whole army ignores cover. All the Strength 5 stuff. So
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it could be an issue. But what do you think is going to be the big damage dealer for you? What is your key?
The Screamers, definitely the Screamers. Okay. I have a unit of 9 and a unit of 8 points, so I couldn't run 9 and 9. A lot of people start focusing on Bellacore and the Demon Prince right off the bat, when actually they're more of a distraction, and the Screamers do a lot of the heavy lifting for the list.
They'll do a lot of damage. All right, well, good luck in the game.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in a minute.
See you soon.
Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin from Team Stomping Grounds. I'm sitting here with TJ Myers, getting ready to play another battle report. TJ, what are you playing tonight?
Tonight I'm playing Tau. Just Tau.
Just Tau?
Well, with a Fire Support Cadre.
Oh, just Tau with a lot of other Tau.
Whatever.
So why are you taking the Fire Support Cadre? What's the...
Well, before I was running double Melta suits, just to drop down and pop some tanks.
Yeah.
From what everybody else has told me, that the Fire Support Cadre is totally worth it. And I'm actually just trying to test it out this game. It all has tank on her. It's 2 units of broadsides and a Riptide. I mean, none of those units are bad. So
none of that sounds like a bad thing. All right, and you're playing against your opponent, who is playing Demons with Tau.
Yes.
We're going to be interviewing Trevor in a little bit to ask what's going on with that. So what are you worried about?
Well, I know he loves the Melta suits, like I was talking about a moment ago. So I'm kind of worried about them coming down and literally popping 6 tanks in one shot. And I'm worried about the, what was it, like 17 Screamers he's got in his list, because they could still easily get a 2-up cover save, and then it's re-rollable.
Right, and then they just nom all your tanks, because Screamers.
Yeah, nom my tanks, nom my sides, all that.
What do you think is going to be your MVP in this game? What do you think is going to be the main thing? What do you need to protect it, and what is going to do to your damage?
I mean, honestly, considering this is there's no real tanks to worry about, probably the broadsides. I would say the broadsides, just because of the amount of shots. Even if he does get invis, I at least have all twin linked.
Yeah, twin linked is nice, and the broadsides are just a beating, so it should be nice.
Yeah, plus all the ridiculous amount of SMS I have.
There's a lot of SMS in that list. You're running what? You got 3 Sky Rays, 5 Devilfish.
5 Devilfish.
5 Devilfish, all with SMS.
Yep.
And 2 units of 3 broadsides and a burst tide.
Yep, all with SMS.
So much twin linked smart missiles. All right, well, we're going to be interviewing Trevor here in a second, and good luck in the game.
All right, thank you.
Hey guys, Jesse here from Team Stomping Grounds.
And Chance from Team Stomping Grounds here. We got a pretty interesting game going on. We got TJ Myers here. You can see him setting up them red, white, and blue Tau just in time for July 4th. Oh, I love it. And then we got Trevor, who's playing, well, you could say Demons at Chaos, I guess. He's playing Screamers.
Well, no, he's playing Yeah, he's playing Screamers.
He's playing Screamers. Yeah,
so TJ's running the MSU Tal build. The team has been mulling around.
Yeah, and you've seen it on various game casts and battle reports and stuff. We think it's really strong.
Yeah, it's with this particular build running the formation as well.
Yeah,
it's throwing out somewhere between 60 and 80 SMS shots depending on the build. Yep. They're taking a turn, and Trevor's running a very kinky. He wants to say.
Yeah, sure.
We've been working on a particular screamer list with him. It's been running into some tough matchups. More importantly, ignores cover.
Yeah.
He's relying heavily on Be'lakor, who gives him all the telepathy, to get shrouded on a unit or in multiple units. And now you have a bunch of 2+ rerollable screamers getting ready to charge. Now, in theory, that would be great charging a tail line because they're not going to really do much, plus invisibility.
Yeah, of course.
Except they ignore cover, so you only have that 5-up invul.
Yeah, one of the things is we talk about in this game, and we talked about the changes in the psychic phase to where psychic powers really weren't that reliable, except for when you bring this powerhouse psyker. You bring like Tigerius or Eldrad. In this case, you bring in Be'lakor, and it's awesome. And he's going to get those spells off. He's going to generate a decent amount of dice, that sort of deal.
He's bringing pink hearts and all to just kind of generate them free dice. He also has a Nurgle Demon Prince. Again, just kind of generating a little bit of dice. He's running a real cover heavy build. And against a matchup where they don't have a ton of ignores cover, you can really punish somebody with that.
Definitely.
But this is particularly bad. So TJ set up first and then made Trevor go first.
Which is exactly where the Tau want to be. They literally want to be at the edge of their gun line, and they want you to have to come to them.
Exactly. TJ knew he had to come to him. He didn't want to have to move forward to get shots off. He kind of wanted to leave himself opportunity to move back.
Yeah.
As they're approaching, and frankly, I mean, there's not much those demons are going to do to him turn one. They're going to buff up, and as we know, he ignores all of his buffs. So, Trevor just went ahead. He turbo boosted forward, had a whole bunch of nothing to do, got off shrouding and all that.
I mean, if you're Trevor at this point, and there's going to be times in tournaments where you play your worst matchup, and you have to play it to the best. And I say it's probably in Trevor's favor that he goes, you know what? I just got to get across. I just got to get in combat. That's the game I got to play. If he blows up my guys, he blows up my guys. I'm going to lose guys anyway.
Exactly.
That's the sort of thing he has to take. Whereas TJ's going to play this bend but not break sort of style of Tau that we've seen before. Not necessarily trying to get stuff... not necessarily saying that stuff needs to not get involved in combat and that sort of deal. But the Tau are able to back up kinda and literally just soak shots as we're seeing right here.
Yeah, I mean it's the SMS, all that ignores cover. I mean it's doing much. The Be'lakor just gets rocked in the air by Skyrays. He just gets rocked. Like one Skyray's able to say him, and he just fails all of his covers or all of his invulnerable saves because he marker lighted.
Exactly.
And so Be'lakor gets rocked, and Trevor jokingly goes, well, and that's why he's not my warlord.
Yeah,
because,
that's true.
I mean, he's target priority number one. He's what makes the army better.
And he has to go with those guys. I mean, he has to be nearby them. He's going to want to buff them up, that sort of thing. And if you're running the plain, I don't know if you want to call it a Screamer Star or whatever, that massive Screamer unit across the field without Be'lakor right there to give them those buffs, I mean, they're just going to get taken off the table regardless.
Yeah. So, I mean, you see him move up. Trevor's also, he forgot his reserves, but he's doing his reserves now. Trevor's been touring around with Tal reserves, particularly crisis suits with Melta and target locks and a commander with Melta.
Yeah.
Really lets him come in and kind of just punish vehicles to an extent.
Well, exactly. We see this is 7th edition could be it's the return of the vehicle.
And demons don't have great answers to them, but with the way that the allies have changed...
Doesn't matter.
Exactly. Everybody's there.
Exactly.
So by them being a reserve and deep striking...
We got some, possessed Tau dudes who just want to melt stuff down.
Well, now with them being in reserves, you are ignoring their big weakness of you have to deploy 12 inches away.
Exactly.
They're 6 inches away. They come in. You don't have to worry about with eyes or one eye opens because that's beginning of the movement phase. So you basically go, okay, I'm going to one eye open, and now my reserves are going to come in. There's nothing to do. So we see the charge gets off. Unfortunately, he rolls low and doesn't get a multi-assault off.
Now we can see the Screamers are now, and they have invisibility, which is all well and good, but with the multi-assault failing, they're kind of going, hell yeah, we just took one of those vehicles out. And they turn around and the entire army is just looking right at them, specifically those broadsides.
You got a broadside unit You have a second broadside unit, which is in the bottom building.
Yep.
You have 1, 2, 3 devilfish and 3 sky rays, all getting ready to point.
So you're talking what?
SMS.
It's like 60 shots?
Roughly, yeah, including the missiles from the.
But they are invisible, which is something. I mean, that just speaks to the power of invisibility. I think in this edition that we'd even have to mention. Oh yeah, by the way, they're invisible.
Yeah. There's no better way of putting it.
Yeah.
I mean, so as we see here, it just wounds after wounds get dumped in to Trevor. There's not much you can really do about it.
Now, I mean, we have to say something for Trevor. I mean, he's playing a kill points mission, and the unit's not actually destroyed.
No, it's still there. Again, back to the power of invisibility, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives them the ability to multi-assault again,
yeah.
But I mean, you run a big problem with that.
You're just weak now.
Exactly.
Weak.
You don't have the units. Like what you really wanted to do there is you wanted to get in that multi-assault
and take out probably 2 vehicles.
Well, take out the vehicles and tie
guys.
up. Well, you were hoping to tie up with the broadsides.
Yeah.
And then consolidate in the broadsides on TJ's turn, not get shot, and then use all your lamprey bite attacks.
Yeah.
So that they're strength 5 AP 2 and hopefully kill off the broadsides in that one go.
Yeah.
And in that one fell swoop, you kill the broadsides, and now it's, oh, look, here's my full unit and 4 tanks all bunched up. I'm not going to multi-assault all the tanks because it's strength 5 AP 2 armor bane with a single attack. Yeah. You know, and
I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, TJ's looking at this match and he's looking, I need to get the Screamers across the table. They're going to die. They're just, it probably will happen. Granted, I mean, he wished there was a few more of them. Yeah, invisibility can go for miles, shrouding, that whole deal. I mean, but if he could have got into the broadsides and just taken them out, that would have gotten him so much closer to be able to, being able to get even points for his models. We always talk about that, especially when it's kill points. I mean, TJ has a lot of kill points available.
He's
bringing a lot of units.
He's bringing a lot more to the table. Trevor did not bother trying to get any summoning because it was going to serve him virtually no purpose.
Exactly. Only pretty much negatives for scoring.
Yeah. So, I mean, you see that the Screamers are putting some work in on those vehicles, but not enough. They managed to just whole point a couple of them. I mean, it's always tough.
It's rough at a kill points game because it's not horseshoes. You can't come close. And a lot of people were saying stuff. We've seen people critique kill points in the past as being like, well, if the unit still has 4 guys left in it, even if it was a 40-man unit, oh well. You know, so it's something that we're definitely... you'll see at the independent tournaments or anything, do anything about it, but I think kill points is just classic 40K at this point.
I don't know that it's necessarily still classic 40K, but it's something. I mean, objectives are going to be great. I really like Maelstrom of War.
Yeah, Maelstrom of War is really fun.
It's got it needs some tweaks for competitive play, but I pretty much think it's kind of right there.
Yeah, for sure. If you want to sit down, get some beer and pretzels in the garage or whatever with the table, play Maelstrom of War with your friends. It's super fun.
Oh, well, Maelstrom of War is super fun, but I mean, I've seen it being tweaked for competitive nature, and it looks pretty good. It's by far, I mean, if you ask most of the guys on the team that have played and just played fun games, Maelstrom of War is the best 40K they've played. So, I mean, we've seen here, back to the game, though, we've seen that the Screamers are still locked in combat. They're not getting anywhere with those broadsides, but more importantly, they're not.
Yeah, they're not dead.
Yeah, exactly. And TJ didn't move. He got a couple stuns and everything, so a bunch of his tanks actually just sat there, allowing for other hits. They didn't do anything, but he's been locked in combat with the broadsides and multiple tanks, which has been pretty sweet for Trevor.
Yeah, we're seeing Trevor.
Well, I mean, he's locked in combat with the broadsides, excuse me. Yeah. But there's tanks also in the way that he's been able to consolidate. And
Trevor's doing the thing that we always talk about. Even if you're going to have a game that's necessarily unwinnable, you got to play to any sort of possibility of winning, and even not winning, just mitigating the loss and seeing what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying right now. He's trying to just capitalize, get a couple kill points. In a battle point scenario, he could potentially capitalize, get a couple battle points, lose small, and then still compete in the event and potentially have a chance of winning it. Yeah. So that's a little rough.
Yeah, it's one of the lessons we could take away, that anytime you lose, don't lose the lesson that you get.
Yeah, I mean, But TJ's just in pure cleanup mode at this point. He's just cleaning up the last of the troops that are standing on secondary objectives that they were also playing. And I mean, it was just a brutal matchup for Trevor in general. The Nurglings being the hero.
I love them little guys.